And then right after the intro, you can start with the music. Then whenever. ¡Ay, ay, ay! 116.
Yes.
Vivo. LongLiveBoxing.
Are you ready? Born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that. I'm scared of it.
It would be awesome to, see being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican. I have to put the joke.
No, hey. Thank you. Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it.
Good timing.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Wepa! We are live, ladies and gentlemen. We are podcast number 116. LongLiveBoxing Envivo podcast con Manny Marrero.
Shono Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper coming out here to break it down like it is, like it should be. And yes, our energy is up, but it might get down right now because, when you commit to something, and this is what we tell people, man. You if you're a fan, if you're a sports fan and you root for people, and then when the people you root for, they don't win, and you make a commitment to do it bad, you got to pay for that. Is that right?
Off, bro.
Am I right about this?
I think so.
Damn. So those of you that you've seen our social medias, my buddy Hopper here, myself. Hold on a second. One, two, three. Yee-haw! Oh.
Here,
Acompáñame, Hopper. Salucita. Ya lo sabes. So, one of the things that we did, we made a bet. Right. Encouraged by Mr. Ruiz. Steven Ruiz, saludito. Right? So the bet was that in the World Baseball Classic, Mexico played Puerto Rico. If Mexico would have lost, my buddy here, Hopper, would have taken 3 shots of rum. If Mexico won, which we all know what happened, I have to take 3 shots.
got one down.
Of tequila.
You got one down.
I got one down.
But
You
look
stole
at
one
that.
from me.
You should have in 1942.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to do it, we're going to do it in his style. Am I right?
Hey.
But it's just to have
Go big or
fun.
Go home.
I know. Thank God I'm Ubering.
That's one.
Okay, but, the interesting thing is that, I don't want to deviate from this, Hopper. I just want to take it easy because, we got to show the start. You know what I mean? And throughout the show, we'll be snagging these little babies. And I got 2 more to go. I'm not forgetting about it. But here's the deal, guys. Podcast 116. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for always supporting us. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. We are LongLiveBoxing Envivo podcast. You can share this content. Podcast will be available starting, tomorrow. We are Thursday today of March of 23. What do we want to talk about today is we know for a fact boxing's been a sport of like a hit or miss. And, those who are highs and lows, those who are casuals, they don't understand a lot of it, and they might be a little bit more critical. Then you have those who think, or they are experts in analyzing
you
things
guys,
and saying things.
Manny.
No, not me, man. I'm not an expert in this. But then you have expectations as a fan. And then, when you think about boxing, expectations are, what's the best thing out there? Who's the best possible champion or future contender? Or what are the matches that we want to see? Who pays the pay-per-views? We do pay the pay-per-views, right? So we support it. So shouldn't we get some of these fights that we think they are going to be good for us, and I'm willing and able to pay whatever it is to watch this pay-per-view, right? So, with that comes the frustration of some of the things that they don't know behind the scenes. And when it comes to contract and negotiations and demands and stipulations, I mean, you have it in every fight. But, in this fight, man, there was, I think, dude, I'm telling you, it was more than what you ask for. As it pertains to understanding and balancing both of the fighters. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about not only Tyson Fury against Oleksandr Usyk. Heavyweight division, a division that now he brings me the lime and the salt.
Sorry.
Damn. A division that is it's wanting to take the throne back again and being able to be that focus point of boxing, and so we finally have someone that is unified. He's holding the majority of the belts, but we have the showman. We have a guy that's more build and population, a guy that he maybe thinks that he is the best in the world. I get it. I see what he's done in boxing, but I want to let you casuals know. I want you to put into perspective a couple of things.
Let me know.
I want you to put into perspective a couple of things. Let's measure success in this case, right? First of all, you were undisputed in one division, whether you want to call it there was not a lot of competition or not. All right, well, that's okay.
Either way, there was competition.
And thank you. There was competition.
That tournament was probably one of the best runs of boxing that I've one of the best runs. Yeah, no, that's fair to say. That whole tournament that I'm talking about, the World Boxing Super Series, the Oleksandr Usyk. Yeah, that was a hell of a run by him. Impressive.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, just for the fact that people make the argument that the fighter that was in question is Oleksandr Usyk, if not one of the best cruisers ever. And say that competently, the fact that you even compare him.
I can't even argue that with you.
You can,
and I like arguing with you.
He does.
And he does. So the fact that people competently say that lets you know the level. And again, we are talking about the heavyweight division, but irregardless of what Tyson Fury and his camp say, Oleksandr Usyk is no slouch. He's won people over. He's a lovable personality in itself, as far as how he's, very charismatic, and how he carries himself in the ring, and he puts on a hell of a performance. He's very entertaining, and he put a whooping on AJ twice. So people definitely know who he is. I mean, he's had two of the biggest drawed fights of the recent 2-3 years for sure. But both of those fights versus AJ, those were huge draws, not just, in person, but online. And just overall, they had the focus and the attention of the boxing world. So I get it. You want to minimize the value of your opponent so you can increase the value and ask more for your purse. But at the same time, while you're crushing the dreams of what that opponent could get, you're crushing the dreams of a potential fight by being, more and more greedy. There's really no other way to put it.
And that's the right way to put it, Gringo. Because oh shit!
You know what time it is?
Yo! Shot! Oh yeah! Allá en el rancho grande, allá donde vivía, había una rancherita. Baby.
Hey yo! Whoa.
I gotta pay my dues. Woo! If you're not willing and able, don't bet. Right, but I love my island. I love Puerto Rico, and this is so sweet. At least I'm not gonna get smashed.
That's
so. You are absolutely right, because when we think about measuring the success individually, and now seeing them both at the heavyweights, and when we look at Tyson Fury's career, yes, he got the Klitschko's. When at that point people felt he wasn't at his best, and then the next thing after that, it was Deontay Wilder. And he did it in a fashion way, and he amazed people with 3 amazing fights. He became a world champion, went back and did a Dillian Whiting for the second time. He did it Derek Chisora. Usyk undisputed in cruiserweight. Usyk came back and beat twice AJ, and he's got the most amount of belts. So I understand he's asking a 730, because if you guys didn't read about it, Tyson Fury, one of the demands was that he wanted 70% of the purse against the 30. Usyk said, I want to fight. Take that audio, because that's the way you make fights. When you really want to fight, you check the boxes. Although you're underpaying yourself, right, and you're undervaluing yourself, he says, I'm going to do it. Oh, well, you need to do this. Check. You need to poop to the right way. Okay, we'll fight. I want the fight. And when you think about it equally, I want to say they're almost equally matched as it pertains to career. Maybe I'll give a slight edge, being objective, because I am a fan of Usyk, but I'm also a fan of Tyson Fury. I might give a slight edge, let's say maybe to Usyk because he almost titles, but who's got the most popularity? Okay, let's say that, Tyson Fury, it's slightly above. Let's just say that. 70-30. Okay, he accepted. But when it comes to a rematch and you lose, you want 70 fucking 30. I mean, for me as a fan, when I read about these things, and listen, guys, I don't know a lot of the stuff, and I'm very cautious of my sources, right? When I read, and I want to, convey the message to all of you fans, I'm cautious to see where I'm reading these things. But this is something that went through social media, and it has been going around, and I truly believe it, because Eji Klimas, he is the most outgoing, he's the most honest, and he's the most straightforward manager, especially when it comes to Usyk's career. And he said something about this, in quote, I don't want to go into details. All negotiations were confidential, and that's right, he shouldn't. But I will tell you one thing. When a fighter doesn't want to fight, what did he do? He says he overpriced himself. Is Tyson Fury overpricing himself?
Yeah, I think this is the definition of a price out. Because literally, I think his bluff was called. He asked for an astronomical amount. 70-30 crazy off top.
He didn't expect him to accept it.
Right. So when he accepted it, he's like, oh, shit, here we go. There's only perception, outside looking in. So he's like, what can I do to put a cog in the wheel? Let me force the issue with the rematch and put the issue on the separation and the split there, which I thought just off top, just in business in general, if you lose, you have no leverage in life.
Thank you.
So
common sense, people.
That's the and Gringo, you brought up a good point, because that's the issue that was holding up the Tank versus Ryan fight. Remember, if Tank lost, he still wanted to be the A side, and
right.
PBC still wanted. But no, they came to their senses and said, "No, you guys are right. We're just kidding. Oh, you read that in the contract. Okay, you guys will take the A side if you guys win." And they agreed to the fight. That means Tank and Ryan, shout out to them, they both wanted to fight. But in this case, Usyk and Fury, somebody didn't want the fight.
Well, that's interesting.
And we know who.
Well, that's interesting, Hopper. Because if we go back to the quote, and I don't know if you read it or not, but you're listening to your instincts of a boxing fan, someone that understands a little bit like us, casuals.
I'm a casual.
Right? He says after, when a fighter doesn't want to fight, he overprices himself, knowing that the fight won't happen. Are you guys adding one to another? Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
In other words, in basic pizza slices, I'm going to tell you right now, all right, I don't want the fight. I'm going to ask a bunch of low money. They ain't going to do it. And you know what? I'll move on and fight Dylan White again, or Chisora again, or someone that I can. And listen, guys, I am a Tyson Fury fight. I'm not trying to bash him here. I'm just putting you into a perspective of someone that has so many demands, as we see as fans, as casual fans. The Usyk side pulled out. That's what, quote, Eji Klimas, of further negotiations as Fury's side never had enough and wanted to pull everything and all right to their side. So if we started this conversation by analyzing both the careers, and let's just, I said slightly, maybe if you want to put Fury slightly, or you want to match him equally based on their resumes and who they have fought, I think they're probably slightly equally, right? But he wants everything to his side. They most likely forgot that Usyk is holding the majority of the belts in the heavyweight division. And guess who's got one? End quote. So,
absolutely.
So, Sean, would you agree with me that titles, accolades, it's less than fame, popularity, and you're allowed yourself to say,
Great question.
I want to fucking do whatever.
Manny's
I
been
want.
bringing it
I
tonight,
have it.
Gringo. I think it's we need to make him lose more bets if he's gonna bring the heat like this.
So, to answer your question, I mean, cash rules everything around me.
Woo! Look
Dollar,
at you.
dollar bill,
Yo, I'm street hip, bitch. No, seriously.
Dollar bill.
All jokes aside,
It's that Arlington side coming out.
man, watch out, man. Watch out.
And he's got the H-Town in it now.
Damn, boy.
But here's the thing, though, like H-Town till I drown. But seriously, if you bring in the butts into the seats, you get people to watch the fight, you have that support. That's what matters. I mean, no one cares about belts but me, you guys, and JC Penney's. Okay, so no one's really going to care about that as far as negotiations. Of course, the sanctioning bodies do, but in terms as far as like leverage in a fight, unless the other fighter who's in the opposite end of the negotiations cares, which looks like he doesn't, then there's really no leverage there. And it seems like there's no leverage in this situation. And I'll go a step further. So first, to answer your question, I think that it's more about the popularity, hands down, no question. It's all about the popularity and it's showing. And I think that Tyson Fury, his bluff was called by Usyk and his team. It went further than he wanted to. But I'll say this, I'll go as far as this, and this is not a shot on Tyson Fury. It's more about when people show you who they are, you got to believe them. And I believe he doesn't want the fight. I think that Usyk could agree to every single thing, and the fight would still not happen because there'd be an injury, some kind of phantom thing would come up. So it's
like
just
it
a fight
happened in the past.
Right. So I mean, he's just showing you who he is. So the fact that people are surprised, I'll say if there's anything to be surprised about, I'm surprised it went as far as it did because there's been no doubt in my mind this is a fight he didn't or doesn't want. Why? Only he can answer that. When he's alone by himself and he's being him,
because he's going to get outboxed by a smaller guy, and that's what his family's afraid of him and his fam.
Right.
Speak to that, Hopper, for those listening.
I mean,
now you go bigger. Shouldn't the bigger guy win? Not always. Right?
Not always. But see,
I don't know. Oh, wait, now is the first time I could get to argue with you guys.
Yeah, but Hopper, and I'm just gonna say a slight comment. I want to hear all your thoughts about it. I'll pick your brains. So Usyk's Tyson Fury's the taller guy. He's got the reach. He's quirky. He's weird the way his style. He's got some power.
Big.
Right? And he's huge. He's like a super extra heavyweight.
Why is he
we don't
afraid
have
of
that
him?
division, but if you think about it, there's heavyweights and there's super duper heavyweights. That's Tyson Fury. We didn't see that back in the Muhammad Ali days. We didn't see that back in the Mike Tyson's day. George Foreman, no. They never reached that level that Tyson Fury's got right now. But Hopper, you're super analytic and, articulate well, and you're like it's Stephen A. Smith of the LongLiveBoxing podcast. But listen, if Tyson Fury doesn't think he wants this fight, that's what all the demands. In your words, what the heck is he thinking, or what can we expect? What could be next for him if it's not an undisputed status that will give him that what he wants, the attention. Because guys, he's losing attention. He's popular. It's good, but he's losing the attention, and I think that's what got him pissed off. What the heck?
Tyson Fury, he's a politician. That's exactly what he is. Out of one side of his mouth, he's going to be speaking to, behind the scene negotiations. On the other side of this mouth, he's going to be talking to the fans. And, oh, no, well, I sent them a contract. Yes, you sent them a contract, but it was a bullshit contract with so many stipulations that nobody in their right mind can agree to. Like Gringo says, once he called their bluff, once Usyk said, I'll accept your 70-30, Fury said, shit. Time to go to plan B, C, D, A. He said, wow, they accepted it. Him and his team got together, and they said, they accepted that. What do we do now?
Let me be clear, too. Let me be clear. Within that, Usyk accepting that 70-30, he also said, I'll take it, but $1 million has to go to Ukraine. So
for every day that he doesn't sign the contract, I believe.
Look at exactly. Yeah, so look at how his heart where's at, and it's like I'm taking it. I'm undervaluing myself, and I want my people.
Usyk wanted to fight. That's undisputable. And Tyson Fury, oh man, I don't know. I mean, like Gringo said it. Gringo already said it. Only he can answer that in his private moments. I mean, why do you not want to fight this guy? If you're a fighter, I know he's not afraid. No fighter's afraid of any other fighter, but
no.
Maybe he's I don't know. This is all just speculation, of course, since he's not coming out and speaking to us truthfully. We can only speculate as to what's going on. Is he partying too hard? Is he enjoying life? Just pigging out, eating out? Just because it's at that level, the discipline that it takes to stay at that level, knowing that to prepare for somebody like Usyk, who is as cerebral as they come, as technical as there's been in the game of boxing. To put it frank, Tyson Fury, he doesn't believe in him. See, he's not up for this challenge that is Usyk, even though he's the bigger guy and should just be able to, use his power, use his size to slowly get in there. He for whatever reason, Tyson Fury does not want this fight. There's no excuses to be made, and we don't have a dog in this fight. We're just calling things like we do, like we always say in LongLiveBoxing. We call stuff like it is, how it should be. For whatever reason, Tyson Fury does not want this fight. That's clear.
And I'll take it a step further and shout out to
bring it, Sean.
How you guys doing?
Hey, champ, what's up? What's your opinion?
A heavyweight.
he said a lot of great things on that episode, but thing that stuck out, and there was a lot of great moments.
Pecan tan?
Yeah, that was
a lot of nuggets with some sweet
the thing that he said about all fighters have what? They know who they can beat.
Yeah.
Who they need to also who they can they probably have a problem with and who they should probably stay away from. So for whatever reason, I think Usyk is that guy. He causes enough problems. He has enough hunger. He has enough I don't give a fuck in him to like Tyson's like, yeah, he's not the one.
And that right there is next level analysis that only Gringo can provide.
Indeed.
That is.
And to think about, if you analyze Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, we haven't seen them yet, but we can think that they're tall. Obviously, Joshua is stronger and maybe a little bit vulnerable, as we know. But we did see Tyson Fury's vulnerability. See, I'm already.
No more 1942 for you.
I still got
you still got one more shot.
Shit!
Here we go.
What I'm trying to say. Oh, shit!
Let's celebrate disappointment with alcohol.
Time to go, carnal. It's time to do it. Steven.
Míralo, cabrón. Viva México, cabrones. I got no voice either.
¡Sacas a todos! ¡Viva México!
Thank you, Canelo.
Viva México, dice
Damn.
Canelo.
I mean, this is worse than losing money. Yeah.
Hey, you guys. I don't even like. I hate straight liquor.
Well,
but like I said,
this is smooth.
I would be dumb to pass up on some 1942. Ain't that right, Spider?
That's the real shit, man.
Sure.
Spider, you want a shot?
Absolutely.
That's the penny dropper. Hey, yo.
Spider want a shot. Get him a shot.
Here, this one hasn't been used.
Okay, put him in there. So, going back to the subject.
Oh, I gotta uncork it, right?
Yeah, just pull it out.
Sorry, yeah. I was gonna pour it with the cork still on.
I want what he's drinking. That's what I want. I can't open it.
Virtual shot.
So, El just made a statement, and I think when it just meant to talk about that, and they're not usually out there. And for a lot of us, like myself, I don't know about my brothers. I felt this is it. This is it. It's not going to happen. Sean, are we going to see an undisputed title shot?
Heavyweight?
Yes, sir.
No.
You're 100% sure this is not going to happen. You buy into the fact that whatever Fury is doing is to really have that extra special duck sauce dipping on it constantly.
Let me just clarify to your point of what you're saying. The only way, because you didn't say about who would be involved. Like, so if Tyson Fury vacates, then whoever it would go to, because Usyk would be all over that, and I'd be all over that as a fan. Because that's the thing. If you're not going to fight, get the fuck out the way, honestly. I mean, I get, he's popular. He's a name. He's a lot of things that we like to see in boxing, that gets interest from the fans, from the casuals, from everybody, from me, from us, from my brothers. But if you're not going to fight, get the fuck out the way. That's my mindset now. Like, make way for the guys that actually are going to fight. Whatever he's dealing with, he can deal with it on his own time. He's rich. He'll be rich no matter how this plays out, but from the standpoint of a fan and watching the fights to happen and wanting the sport to excel, we need to have fights that are big, that are exciting, with personalities that are going to happen and that come together and that, are actually made. I'm disappointed. It breaks my heart. We're actually having a podcast about, what it could have, should have been. Thank God for alcohol.
And actually, let me make it clear. It was like a topic that we were like, why would we talk about something? I get it.
Something negative.
Or something that it's really not really going to actually, maybe I make it happen. Hopper, rewind. I ask you the same thing. All right. We as fans, we want to see undisputed status in the heavyweights. We as fans want to see Tyson Fury to see what he's got against a smaller guy, technical guy, difficult guy to hit. Anthony Joshua knows about that. But also we know for a fact that he wants to be considered the best. I mean, he has put himself close to Ali, even the best. I mean,
no, not after this round of negotiations.
So does he have to take this fight to get to consider himself?
No, but at this point, we're 1 day removed from negotiations being officially called off by Usyk's manager. At this point, the ship has sailed. I mean, Fury is wearing that duck costume. He's dripping in duck sauce. He is smelling like a duck, quacking like a duck. This is there's no other way you can spin this, and we're like we said, man, Fury fans, I feel bad for you guys. I mean,
I like the guy.
There's nothing you can say
Here's
about
my
this.
problem.
And you know what's
the
crazy?
Guy,
hold on a minute.
I like the guy.
I would favor him in that fight.
Really?
Against Usyk?
Well, I mean,
he's a big boy. Fury's big. He's
I know.
Big boy, bro. He's big. He's skilled. Usyk is skilled as well. Of course, super technical. But come on, man. At the end of the day, Fury's just a big ass dude, man.
The difference in the
and that's the thing about it.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it before. We have touched about it. We've said Fury's he's just too damn big. Yeah. I mean, look what he did to Wilder, bro. Okay, Wilder and Usyk. That's tough, right?
Well, interesting you say that because now, apparently, there's a couple other, tweets, as we know, social media is nowadays where I send my message and make my statement into it, and that didn't happen. And Wilder, and I don't have the tweet with me, so I'm not quoting on it, but I'm just paraphrasing it. And Wilder said, "Hey, I'm ready. Basically, I'm ready for you." Is that the route we're going to probably see? We'll see the Brahms Bomber going at it again, unified against Usyk, or Butterbean also stick her little nose into the mix and said, "Hey, Wilder, I'm here." So parting ways with someone that thinks it's over his head, and I'll say it, and it's not the alcohol, it's just reality at this point. That's what I'm seeing. I'm sorry, Fury, I love you. You're awesome, but this is what I'm seeing as a fan. I'm seeing that you're just trashing everything in the opportunity to be great. You're good, but you're not great.
Nah.
So,
go ahead, Gringo.
My bad, brother. So, like, you guys, are supporters, believe in Fury. Hopper, you even said that you believe he would win. So do you think that, we said about his quiet moments, he's just surrounded by too many yes men? Because we're able to see it like, dude, you're doused in duck sauce. He has to see this is not good.
No,
because like
man.
word legacy, there's no legacy to
That's
me.
what I'm
There's
talking
nothing.
about. There's
Like,
nothing
people
else in the landscape.
When he fought Wilder, he's gonna live off of that for his career. Like, oh, I beat Wilder, and he's fought some great guys, But this is for undisputed in the heavyweight division. This is for you win this fight, you cement your legacy.
Even
in
with
the
a smaller
annals
boxer?
of boxing.
Would it be
for
an asterisk?
life.
Would it be an asterisk just because it was a very smaller boxer and
No, there
it
was
like a
no.
disadvantage?
He's in
Okay,
the heavyweight
good,
division. He
good.
already beat
Thank you.
Anthony
Okay,
Joshua.
thank you.
He's
All right,
proved
all
his
right.
medal in this
Good.
division.
No, there's no asterisk.
That's
No.
what I wanted to hear.
This is
Yeah.
This is the kind of fight that this is where the old timers are right, and I hate that because this is where they say it wouldn't happen back in my day, and they're right.
No,
nobody who in their right mind would turn down the chance for undisputed. Like, bro,
I'll go ahead and
really?
say I'll take a step further, my brothers. Never in the history of the world will there be an agreement initially for one taking 70, the other 30, and the fight doesn't happen.
Wow.
That
Damn.
will not happen. So that lets you know
that
the
just
level of
that's
ducks.
We've never seen
the
that.
way you put that.
On major fights, we have never seen a 70-30. And I'm talking about major big fights, not heavyweights like in the Tito Trinidad. I remember Tito Trinidad and Oscar De La Hoya was the first fighter, if I can remember, that made the 20 million plus per fight. That was like the big wow. Tito Trinidad made that. Cotto made that. And it started, but look at the level of opposition they faced. Look at how much excitement in the pay-per-views that people were willing and able. And that was an era of not streaming. We're talking an era now that a lot of people stream the fuck out of that because they're not getting them.
Gringo. Hopper.
Hopper stream.
Hey, what can I say?
Gringo,
I'm a poor Mexican from the hood.
Gringo only when it's PBC. Oops.
Oh, no, he pays for PBC. He pays for PBC.
Oh, he wants to do the good.
He wants to
do the good. But in a nutshell.
He does right by Heyman.
In a nutshell, because I know Gringo's got a lot of stuff different from this fight. And he's got a lot of stuff in his chest. He wants to really talk about it. But in a nutshell, guys, I very concerned about this fight. I don't think it's going to happen. It's sad, but I hope it does because the sports needs this. So I don't know what you think. You can share, you can comment, whatever it is. Let us know what you think. But that's our perspective, and I hope that things come out on the way that. Listen, it's all about the fans. That's it. Gives a fuck about them contract. The fans. We're gonna pay for that freaking 70-30.
Right,
Gringo.
Yeah. Or the Saudis are.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So, well said, and I love the passion.
Manny, you're very passionate about that, brother.
Yeah, he's passionate. Well, he likes the 70-30 split. He's fired up.
I was like, Usyk, you fucking crazy? But he did it, and I'm like, I admire her more. I was like you, leaning more towards like Tyson Fury. And look at that shit. We can't keep talking about it. Stop talking about this. But you know how strong of a Usyk fan I've been.
Yes.
For a while.
Yep.
But I do like Tyson Fury. He
got your
entertains
Ukrainian
me.
passport.
But the fact of the matter is, the last few fights, he had made so much money on an easy path that I don't want to go back into a rabbit hole. You all know what I'm talking about. Gringo, just what do you got to say? I want to change this fucking subject.
Yeah. So again, I think that and the reason why we're doing this episode, guys, is because we're just sharing the disappointment. Obviously we like to talk about fights being made. There's a lot of beautiful matchups that are coming together, coming to fruition. We're excited about it. This is actually on paper to potentially be one of the bigger years in terms of just big box office views of people being interested in fights. And we love that. And this could have been a huge cherry on top, but it didn't happen because one guy didn't want the smoke. And I feel bad for his fans. I feel bad for me as a boxing fan because I wanted to see it. And it's history. But in fact, now it's going to be negative history. And I'll go ahead and say it, that I have to question not only this moment, but it's such a bad taste in the mouth as a fan of the sport. When they take a look back, and it won't take too long, they're going to realize they've totally tarnished their legacy. That's how bad it is. This is a legacy tarnishing moment. Somebody agrees to 70-30 and you step away because of a rematch. Fight the first fight, and who cares at that point, And you're
70-30 and a rematch when you lose. I mean, this is like time machine. This is like stopping the time and changing the time. Like you said, Gringo. But that's just my thought, the way I put into it. Like a time machine. Fucking you come in and fuck things up in the future because you know the outcome of it.
And then what's crazy is that in the aftermath of that happening, Usyk is forced to negotiate with Daniel Dubois. Yeah. Right? The English guy, United Kingdom, from Greenwich, London. Greenwich. But if you look at that situation, this is where boxing it gets crazier. This guy's in a better position. He's fighting for a heavyweight championship of the world before the guy that beat him, Joyce.
Yep.
So, I mean, it just, because Fury punked out of the fight against Usyk, boxing goes back to its BS, to the more popular, the money, whatever, heavily promoted, whatever it is, politics. Daniel Dubois gets the title shot before the guy that beat him. That means Daniel Dubois is better positioned than Joyce, who sparked him. That's crazy, right?
Well, and
that makes no sense.
He's a WBO interim. Right.
Yeah, boxing's always going to be boxing, and once again, the disappointment reigns supreme. You know, we were hoping for clarity with boxing in terms of the heavyweight division, and that's the thing. We know who the top two guys are. I mean, it's clear. There are other players in there that are interesting. That could be some intriguing matchups, but the playing field was set. The matchup was there to be had, and they're not taking it. You know, and we have to sit back and to pick up the pieces. And to your right, to add insult to injury. The juggernaut, who I love, is not going to get an opportunity to do what he does in terms of getting an opportunity, which I think that'd be a great fight, by the way, versus Oleksandr Usyk. But no, the guy who he broke his eye socket and stopped him, Daniel Dubois, is going to get the opportunity because, you know, he's got the support. You know, he's got the leverage because he's got the ranking and he's got the money behind him. It's
Saudis will pay for it. That's what he says. Saudis will pay for it. That's what he says, and it's just the wrong mentality.
Yeah,
Completely.
that's. I mean, everything that we thought about Fury, it's everything we know now. The kind of person that he is, or what matters to him, or legacy doesn't matter. To him.
Well, it's not legacy. I maybe not. He don't care about that, and that can be it. But at the end of the day, if you are a person who really relies on your fans, you go with that, because what the fans wanting is what's going to get you the legacy. That's the people going to support you. And one of the things that I'm speculating, and I always have those weird thoughts, y'all know about that, is because you're losing popularity, you're losing it slightly, because Usyk might get the attention because the things you're doing with the negotiations, is that really hurting? I think it is. It really is. And now you're trying to get more attention by, microscoping, making things difficult for the fight to happen.
Well, you know what? And I'll say another thing real quick too. I guess because I'm not as high on Tyson Fury, and again, going back to when you who you are.
You enjoy Tyson.
No, but I mean, I appreciate talent, and I know what he does for the sport. But I'll say that he got, to me, talk about giving people passes. The fact that he fought Derek Chisora's corpse for a third time is like abominable. Like, I don't even know how that got sanctioned. I know it's the UK, and Derek Chisora, you're a warrior. I mean, so much respect, but there's no way in fuck that fight should have happened. So that fight happened, and he got a pass there, and all is just Tyson Fury doing what he does, and he's just getting the warm up until
he experienced the easy money. He's
just chasing money and a chance to stand in front of the screen and spout off, you're a shit house and you're a sausage and all that bullshit. When in actuality, he's just blowing hard. Like, no one, I never really cared about what he said before, but now I truly don't. Like, he's irrelevant to me. To me, he's like a retired fighter.
He did retire. You send him to retire. Remember, you sent everyone to retirement. So he was retired. I mean, and he fought twice. Oh, wait. Who? Dylan White and Derek Chisora. Okay. All right.
So, yeah, it's disappointing, and it's just kind of one of those things that we have to deal with. But, ending on a positive note, it is an exciting year, and we don't want those that are listening, good, bad, and different. Boxing's still going to be boxing in a good way. There's a lot of fights to be had. This is just one that didn't come through. Oleksandr Usyk is one to follow, and I think this is another reason, and Hopper mentioned it, and, my brother Manny did as well. If you're willing to take 30% of a fight in a championship fight, and you have more of the belts, and you're popular yourself, you have a whole country behind you within a war, and you're helping support them.
At least 50-50 rematch. What the fuck?
Yeah, so if you're willing to do that, how can you not get behind this guy? So I can't wait for his next fight. And like I said, there's other guys that are, interesting in the division. It's disappointing that Tyson Fury doesn't want to show us who he says he claims he is. He's just another guy that was the right place, right time. When he saw his time was up, he moved on. Right? That's what it is. He's not the best fighter of this era, right? He was the best fighter of a moment, and he took his moment. He's taking his money, and he's going home.
And that's what he's gonna. That's what he wants his legacy to be.
And that's the bottom line.
Because Manny said so.
Nah, it said
Gringo
so.
said so.
We said so. But ladies and gentlemen, it is about to see what's going to happen with the heavyweights. Are we going to see an undisputed? Are we not? We know some of the undisputed cancel. And I wish shout out to I hope he recovers real quickly. But the fact of the matter is that the fans are still waiting. What's going to happen? We were going to talk about something, but we're not going to.
We'll save it for the next.
We're not going to have time. But just to let you know, Spence and Crawford, I know you hate it. I know you don't like
just
it.
Threw up.
But the tweet today
Not because
came
of
and
the
said,
1942.
"We at the end." That's what, in quote, "we at the end," end quote. That's what Terrence Crawford had to say, and it's June 17th. So you're probably seeing that, poster going on in social medias. Who knows? We'll talk about it some other day because we're busy right now. We're about to head out, and we want to thank you so much for continue watching and supporting. And guess what? We're gonna leave today the same way we started. Spider.
Shot.
En vivo.
I don't even do straight licks.
Mira, y esta es la ñapa. This is the extra one, papi. It's those three.
Okay.
Yeehaw! Adios. Hey, Spider took one too.
Oh yeah.
Wepa! Woo!